So we are in this mad, crazy stage in human history where we think it is acceptable for paraphilic men to use newborn infants in their sexual fetish.
I'm going to keep exposing these disgusting human beings. Are they even human?
The reality of the situation is that trans women, not men, trans women and other trans people are not predators. The statistics show us over and over again that trans women are not predators.
But do you agree that not all cis men are predators?
Yes, of course.
So why don't we let cis men into women's spaces as well?
Again, this is a bad faith argument.
Why? Why can't you answer the question? Why is it bad faith argument?
Still want to do this?
Yeah, I am.
It is interesting how I'm having a perfectly fine debate here, but there's someone else coming around trying to convince them not to speak to me.
I'm done. This is a bad faith argument. You are not actually here to ask good questions. You are here to have bad faith straw man arguments. You are pathetic. This is a low, low bar. I expect more from journalists. This is a bad faith.
So you're now personally insulting me but can't answer any of my questions, but I'm the one who's got a bad faith argument?
I'm done now.
Okay, you done?
Yeah, thank you so much.
Do you have any last words?
You're good. You're done. Last word?
There you go. Apparently I'm pathetic for asking very, I would say, reasonable questions about women's safety.
Genius. Oh my God. They can't have, there's no argument. There's no argument. Right. I'm going to show you today that this person is full of shit. Okay. Because we all know it. There's tons of them that are predators. They get exposed every single day. Okay. So if you all want to call these people trans, if anyone can be trans, this is what you're bringing into your community. Okay. You've opened the door for disgusting weirdo predators who say they're trans, because anyone can be trans. I just left, and then that guy had to have him, whatever that person was, had to be saved by somebody because, are you okay? Are your feelings getting hurt? Is your little, do you need your little binky? I mean, my God, man, my what, 9-10 week old baby is more mature than these people. It is insane. So with that, please hit the subscribe button. We're killing it here. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. I always appreciate you guys so much. And so with that, today we're going to talk about these predators in the so-called trans community who are here. They're here. And they're doing disgusting things. And these people need to be outed constantly. I will not stop showing you that these people have abused what a transsexual really is. And now they've infiltrated and they're doing stuff like this.
Jessica, good afternoon. That former state lawmaker will be arraigned in less than an hour for allegedly breaking the law by exploiting children. 39-year-old Stacie Laughton of Derry, New Hampshire is under arrest and awaiting arraignment in state court for distribution of child sexual abuse images. Laughton previously served in the New Hampshire House of Representatives. Today's court hearing comes one day after another arrest related to this case. 38-year-old Lindsay Groves of Hudson, New Hampshire, a daycare worker at Creative Minds in Tingsboro, is facing federal charges for sexual exploitation of children and distribution of child pornography. Federal prosecutors say Groves took explicit images of children at the daycare and, quote, sent the photos to an individual with whom she was previously in an intimate relationship.
My heart was in my throat, and then I go from that to angry.
Now, parents are waiting to hear if their children are victims of this heinous crime.
I'm not sure why our kids weren't being protected the way that they should have been.
In a statement, the daycare says Creative Minds Early Education is cooperating fully with law enforcement to ensure a complete and extensive investigation into the allegations regarding a single former staff member. And Stacie Laughton is scheduled to be arraigned at 1 o'clock this afternoon. Reporting live in Nashua, Todd Kiskiewicz, WCVB News Center 5.
Which is, if you didn't know, Stacie Laughton is a trans-identified man who thinks they're a woman, okay? And, like, supposedly, like, one of the very first, made history as one of the first transgender people on the hill or whatever that in our government. Great representation, trans community. Way to go. So this just recently happened here.
Former state representative will be sentenced in February after pleading guilty to charges that include sexual exploitation of children. Stacie Laughton requested explicit photos of children from Lindsay Groves, who worked at a daycare in Tingsboro, Massachusetts. Groves pleaded guilty last month. Prosecutors say the two were dating at the time and exchanged thousands of text messages about those pictures. Laughton was elected to the New Hampshire House 3 times, but resigned twice because of separate legal problems.
Ew. Just ew, barfy, gross. So let me just read this here to you right here. So this says, first openly trans lawmaker admits to sickening child sex charges involving kids as young as, sit down, 3. Okay, the first openly trans lawmaker in the U.S. I hope the trans community is proud of this one, who was hailed as a trailblazer, has admitted to sickeningly child sex charges involving young kids in the daycare center. Okay, former Democrat New Hampshire State Representative Stacie-Marie Laughton, 41, a biological male who identifies as a female. See what I mean? Anyone can identify as a man or a woman. Pleaded guilty to charges including sexual exploitation of children last week in the Boston federal court. Laughton faces up to 30 years in federal prison. That is the freak. I also want to remind you, let's ask this question, which I put in, I couldn't find out. What prison will this person be going to? Will they be going to the women's prison or the men's prison? Because they identify as a female. But no matter where they're going, they're getting it. They're going to get nailed but I hope they go to the men's prison because they will not tolerate that stuff there in any way, shape, or form. So the weird thing is that it's their partner, okay, who took all the pictures of little kids in the bathroom. Okay, it's so disgusting. And you wonder why people are so freaked out about people like this going in the women's bathroom. This is literally why. Okay, here it says, Groves used natural bathroom breaks for the children to photograph them. So there you go. They were photographing the kids in the bathroom. And you are all arguing that these people should be let in the women's toilet? It just proves everything that all of us have been saying. These predators belong nowhere near trans, nowhere near kids, nowhere near... It's just mind-blowing to me how you all just keep acting like trans women are women. If you think that's a woman, you need to go to the psychiatrist yourself because it is actually disgusting. And, it hurts people like me who really do try to live a life of, just walking the world, navigating. I make a huge effort to look like a dude and to be around dude, but I'm not around any of this weird shit. So then we get lumped into this weird shit with these weirdos. Okay, so I know I'm feeling a little bit upset about all this. It's just so disgusting. So then, this Stacie freak, this is the Stacie freak right here.
We actually turned this off because Facebook is very finicky with music. So we'll just wait till we get a few more people up in here. And just want to welcome you all. Anyone that could be joining, anyone that'll watch this on the replay. Welcome, Christina. Welcome. Thanks for joining. Just want to, welcome anyone. And if you don't know who I am Stacie-Marie Laughton. I am one of the selectmen in the city. We oversee the election process, and we work on election day, and we prepare for the election prior.
Creepiest vibes ever. Creep vibes. Total creep vibes. Now, I want to ask you, seriously, if you saw that person in the woman's bathroom, in the woman's gym, in a woman's space, at the daycare center, what would you be like? Oh, look at that lady. No, you would not. There's nothing lady about that dude. Okay, and now we know this person is a predator, a child predator. one day I'm going to do a whole video on how many child predators who identify as trans women there are, because there's more than you're going to even, it's going to blow your mind. There are so many of them. And for some reason, nobody is talking about it except for certain groups of people, certain women organizations. But other than that, it's not really out there how many there are, because this person can easily just identify as a female and nobody can push back on them, because then you're transphobic. How did this happen? I hear you asking me, how did this happen? I'll tell you, years and years and years and years of infiltrating the transgender space. They're cross-dresser, fetishists, AGP, they have a fetish to be women, and then they probably have a fetish for kids, and then it's all like intertwined with their weird, I know I'm judging right now, but I kind of feel like I have the right to do that. Look, I'm all about you having whatever fetish, and that if you keep it in your adult space and you do it without any of us having to see it, that's what it always was been. But you guys brought it to the public, and you think you can just get away with it now. And this is how it happened. It infiltrated into the trans community, and then they took over, and they became all the people who had WPATH, who had all the trans organizations. It's all these kind of dudes, okay? These are cross-dress fetishists. They're not trans people. So that's how it happened. It took years and years and years and years of brainwashing and gaslighting everybody. So I want to show you this one. This just recently happened.
The restroom, the women's restroom, like I have been for months, if not years, never had any issues.
Sarah Swinson is a regular at the Tucker Reed Kofer Library. She says after she used the ladies' room on October 20th, a DeKalb police officer on hand for early voting confronted her.
He says, "Excuse me, sir," so misgendering me right away. "You're not a woman, that's obvious."
Swinson says she tried explaining to the officer that she's a transgender woman, but he got angry.
"This is a police matter. There are women and little girls in there, and I have to protect them."
She says it ended up causing a scene in the middle of the library, and she tried to de-escalate.
Finally, I just nodded, and he walked off, and I was very thankful.
The next day, she emailed library staff, who she says reached out to DeKalb County Police.
The library filed the complaint on my behalf.
There aren't any Georgia laws banning transgender people from using bathrooms aligning with their gender identity. DeKalb PD says its internal affairs unit is actively investigating the incident, but offering few details. A spokesperson said the department, quote, remains dedicated to treating all members of our community with dignity, respect, and professionalism.
So, I have a question about the department remains dedicated to treating all members of our community with dignity, respect, and professionalism. Does that not include women? Or does that only include trans identifying males? Because that's what it sounds like to me. And if trans person who really understands the situation would never put themselves, that's another predator, in my opinion. What are you doing in the women's room? Okay, sorry, but you don't look like a woman. I don't care that you put big boobs on and you're wearing a woman's big flowy shirt. You don't look like a woman. You don't sound like a woman. Okay, you smell like a man. Okay, we can smell you a mile away. Like, what are you doing? No, you don't get to have that privilege. But I want to know why a certain group of people gets respected and dignity and treated with all of that, but another group of people don't. Okay, like, come on, it doesn't work that way. This is called the woman's room for a reason, and why I keep advocating for a third space. But then the trans community thinks that's transphobic in itself. They do not want to find a solution. They do not want a solution. No way do they want a solution. They want to keep messing around like this and keep feeling like they're the ones who are being screwed over. So as I move into this little story, because I don't want to do the whole thing on that creepy predator who he got arrested, he's going to jail, and yeah, I said he, okay, and the Democratic, you wonder why that place fell apart. He's going to prison. Bye, babe. See you later. Have fun in prison. And then you're going to be somebody's little girl there. And so then I just didn't want to keep, it's like, you see, you got it, boom, dump. But I want to show you And I hope you're seeing that I want to show you that there are these types of trans women who are just fetishists, and the things they're doing are so creepy and so, oh my God, just so gross, and has nothing to do with transsexualism. It has everything to do with a fetish, a paraphilia, all of it, okay? So check this out.
So we are in this mad, crazy stage in human history where we think it is acceptable for paraphilic men to use newborn infants in their sexual fetish.
Okay, so that's like absolute red line. Like absolute red line.
I know, but look at where we are with the sanitized language. This is a woman, it's a trans woman, and she just wants to breastfeed her baby. And so the Lalesha League, the organization that has supported breastfeeding mothers for decades and decades, the Lalesha League endorses this. They support trans women breastfeeding infants because nobody understands the erotic, paraphilic desire behind it, because we're forbidden from talking about it. But if you actually look at the motivation, and if you actually understand this subcategory of autogynephilia, you understand that this man has been masturbating to the thought of breastfeeding an infant for probably decades, and now he's living out his fantasy. He's actually doing it, and the Lalesha League supports him.
It's
society supports him.
There you go. You know how, I'm going to tell you something. I have actual firsthand experience with this as a paraphilia, as a fetish, okay? I used to be around that scene. There are so many adult babies. There are also men who dress like women and put on fake boobs. I know this is really disturbing, but I want you to know I've seen it firsthand. And that's why I know, you have to understand, I have a lot of experience with these things. I know exactly what's going on. They crossed the line between gender dysphoria and a paraphilia, a fetish. And so what they've done is now trans women can breastfeed. Oh, ugh. Like the whole thought of it is so insane because it's a fetish. They get off what she just said. They masturbate to it. They get off on it. First off, how disgusting to even put that in the same category as a mother who just had a baby and is breastfeeding around that. I mean, the whole thing is so disgusting. The boundaries have been blurred or wiped out. There's no boundaries anymore. Okay. So now these men who identify as female, because remember, now you can just identify as female and everyone just has to let you, even though it's all insane, okay? Now they've brought it over, and now they're saying that trans women can breastfeed and that it's healthy. So let me bring this next video up for you because I want to show you, I want to talk about that subject, that they started saying that trans women can breastfeed and it's healthy, and they even said as healthy or even healthier than an actual woman. Okay, it's just like, we are in a fucking weird world right now. Listen to this.
Now, a transgender woman's milk is just as good for babies as breast milk. That's according to a letter from the medical director at University Hospital Sussex NHS Foundation Trust. The claim was made as part of a response against campaign groups. The trust referred to studies and the World Health Organization guidance, including one case which found what it called no observable effects in babies fed by induced lactation. Well, to discuss this in a bit more detail, I'm joined now by Kate Luxian, who is a research fellow in creative global health at the University College London and a lactation consultant trainee. I wanted to begin by getting your reaction to what we've heard from the hospital about this.
Of course, and it's actually not very new in terms of a concept or an idea. It's something, as someone who works in LGBT pregnancy and reproduction, that we've known for quite a while. There's studies back in the 90s that talk about the sameness of milk from the birth mother and then the co-lactating mother in terms of 10 days after birth. There's no difference seen there. And when we look at the research that's been done specifically about trans women, there's a case study that was done and published last year where they actually found that the nutritional value was either at or above the nutritional value of then the meta-analysis referent that it used. So using the example of kind of a larger sample of what we look for in breast milk, it was seen to be at least, if not higher of quality.
There have been, of course, campaign groups who have criticised this letter. One policy exchange has said that the letter is unbalanced and naive in its assertion that the secretions produced by a male on hormones can nourish an infant in the way a mother's breast milk can. What is your take on that criticism?
Well, if we look at the evidence and what we can see from the science of it, the baseline of what would be in a trans mother's blood.
Okay, so I just want you to know that I did a little research on this, and they debunked that, okay? And reading more about it, they said that it was all, the study was bad, and that the breast milk they were studying was actual female breast milk. It was not trans woman, male breast milk induced by hormones. There's no way it's the same milk. You're not getting the same milk. A woman's mammary glands and an actual biological female, there's like literally two separate things. I don't care how much hormones you put in your body, you're not changing your biological sex. You're changing maybe your appearance. You might be changing some things going on, but you cannot actually change the physical sex. So that study actually got debunked. But this was, I think, done a couple of years ago. And this is the problem, is all of these fake weird ass studies like trans kids are kids and we did studies and it lowered the suicidal rate were all debunked, and that's a crock of shit. But they were putting this stuff on like the BBC and saying all this shit, and it's not true. There is no way that, and they were, did you hear it, what they said? That a trans woman's milk can be just as good, if not better. Really? Are you effing kidding me? Like, next they're going to say trans man's sperm is better than biological men's sperm. Like, what? I can't make that. I'll never be able to make that. That's not actually, that's physically impossible. This is how wacky and freaked out the whole trans space is, that I want nothing to do with it. You guys are a bunch of freaks. I don't know what the end goal is. I don't know what the end game is here. I really don't. Like, what's the end game for these people? Here's another one. Watch this.
The things that you need to know about your child, are they consistent? Are they persistent? And are they insistent about their gender identity? And when they answer those three questions with yes, 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 then I say, believe your child. I'm a transgender woman, identify as queer, and I've been out 12 years as of this past May. I have 3 children. Shortly after the death of their mom, the then 9-year-old, who we always thought was Liam, came out at 15 as the girl she really is. I was really heartbroken at first because my youngest is my little mini me. She's very much the way I was. And oh, how I wanted to be out and trans all those years. I've known since I was 4. And what I didn't want for her is to be bullied and to have a rough life and to have society give her a hard time. But
what a bunch of crap. I know you do. You guys are so smart. This person is putting their own childhood bullshit on their own kid. We always knew Liam was a girl. I wished I was like that when I was a girl. Blah, blah, blah. You're literally putting your own shit on your own child. You just said it. You're making your child trans. It's actually, I just came out 12 years ago and I'm queer and no shit, Sherlock. You try going in the woman's bathroom. I'm just so sick of you fucking people. Why is it always these weirdo fucking dudes? Why? So I just have a couple that I just need to show you because I'm just appalled. Watch. I mean, what? I took out the music because I'm not sure. What? So this is what I'm trying to talk. That's a cross-dresser. This person said, every woman combs their hair like that. I know y'all comb your hair like that. Like, what? It's such a fetish. Oh my God. Okay, wait. And I got another good one for you. Watch this one. I have to take the music out too because I'm not sure about the copyright. So I'll add my own music to it. Okay? Wait. What? Oh my God. Graceful. Oh my God. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Woohoo. Yeah, baby. Move that. Go for it. Do it, lady. Do it. You got it. That's it. Graceful. Your grace. What? This is the shit that is literally what? How you trans people don't think people are gonna make fun of you? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh my God! Hide your kids. Literally hide your kids, people. My God, it's so creepy. Literally creepy. Okay, I think I have this last one. If you don't think this is a fetish,
welcome to Tabitha's transition journey. My aim is to document my transition from a straight guy to a lesbian woman, a lesbian trans woman. My name is Tabitha Dawn Oakes Muir, and I'm a 50-year-old trans woman. I realised I was trans back in early 2020, and for 2 years I kept it hidden from my family, wife and my children.
Oh, he has a wife and children, and he came out in 2020. We know what happened in 2020, okay? And I came out as trans. I always knew I was trans. Trans isn't an identity, okay? Do you have gender dysphoria, or are you trans? You got to hear the language there. They're a fetishist. This person is coming out as trans and documenting it for everyone to see, because the narcissism is so huge that they have to make sure that you can see them. Wow. Just, I wanted to show you, there's so many of these types of trans identifying males on the internet. It is crazy. The whole space has been overtaken by paraphilia, AGP, fetishist men. Many of them are hateful towards women, just don't like women, actually want to eliminate women. They want to breastfeed. They want to take your husband away. They want to be their wives. They start looking like their wives. They take their wives' names. The whole thing is just creepy. So I don't know. That's it. I want to keep my kids away from it. Somebody commented that I haven't spoken about my son since I got the baby. So I just want to bring up today, he's doing amazing. He's going into high school next year. He is an awesome kid. He just had his bar mitzvah. He is becoming a man. Like every day I see that kid, man, and he's like 5 inches taller. It's just insane. It feels so weird to watch a young child grow. So all of you out there who asked, he's doing amazing. Thanks for asking. The baby's doing amazing. My family is very blessed. I am very happy. I feel so lucky to be who I am today, and I really do appreciate all your guys' support with the channel and helping me bring this reality-based content out there so that you can push back on people who could keep calling you transphobic or keep saying like, you don't know what you're talking about. You do know what you're talking about. If you continue to listen to people like myself and Blair and Marcus and Tori and all of us who really just are very grounded around our transsexualism, then you will have the knowledge to push back on the people who have been brainwashed with this kind of crap, okay? Because these are not women. These are not women. These are predators, in my opinion, who need to be exposed. And that person, Stacie Laughton, better be going to a man's prison, and we better keep our eye on that, okay? So with that, have a beautiful rest of your day. Thanks for supporting the channel. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you can, and I'll see you guys all on the next one.